What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Surrey Stingers, bringing you guys our Week 6 team builder for the PTL Division 2. This is Week 6, taking on Viva La Pascal and the Witney Miltanks. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, Ian, where's Week 5? Well, we got an FF win in Week 5, so we will not be playing that match. I have the team builder filmed and whatnot, but I'm keeping that to myself so that I can actually, not have to rebuild against Dolphin if we match up in playoffs is essentially all it comes down to. It ended up being time zone problems, but um, I was ready all of the time, and Dolphin sort of wasn't. So yeah, it ended up with an FF win in our favor. We'll take it, and we move on. You know, I spent 5 hours or whatever of my week waiting, so I'm just gonna take the FF and move on with my life. Week 6, we take on Will. His team consists of Mega Mawile, Thunderous Incarnate, Latias Z user, Minior, Decidueye, Umbreon, Aselgor, Registeel, Blaziken Z user, Toxapex, Parasect, Articuno, both of those are Z users as well. Priority options, he's got the Mega Mawile with Sucker Punch, obviously the Thunderous Incarnate with Prankster Shenanigans, Decidueye with Shadow Sneak and Sucker Punch, Umbreon with Sucker Punch, Blaziken with Vacuum Wave, and I believe that's it. Oh, sorry, Aselgor with Water Shuriken as well, but I always forget. Hazard setting, he's got the Mega Mawile with Rocks, Minior with Rocks, Aselgor with Spikes and T-Spikes, Registeel with Rocks, and Toxapex with T-Spikes. Removal options, he's got the Thunderous Incarnate with Defog, Latias with Defog, Minior with Defog, Blaziken with Defog, and Articuno with Defog, so tons of removal on his team. I'm not going to bother trying to Spike stack him this week. It's really not worth my while when he's got multiple mons that can Defog. 4 times weaknesses, he's got the Parasect 4 times weak to Fire and Flying, and the Articuno 4 times weak to Rock. So 2 mons I don't really think are coming. I believe I've covered... I've covered the Fire and the Flying, but not the Rock, just because I don't think Articuno is going to withstand a lot of hits, and if I get Rocks up anyways, it's crippled. So yeah, in terms of what I don't think he's going to bring, it's Umbreon, Parasect, and Articuno off the top of my head. I think he's got better walls against my team than Umbreon. I think Umbreon performs really poorly against Megalop and Fable. You know, he might bring it as a Jirachi check, maybe. I've prepped pretty hard for the Umbreon. I don't really think that it's that big of an issue for my team. Granted, I don't really think Registeel and Toxapex are issues for the team that I'm bringing either. I can break through his walls really easily. It's mainly his offense that I'm worried about, specifically the Mega Mawile, Thunderous, and Latias that I'm going to have issues with mainly. Blaziken I can outspeed, so I'm not all that worried about that. But yeah, that's sort of what is going on with his team there. I don't know, maybe he brings the Parasect for like Spore Shenanigans. It doesn't seem worthwhile of a bring. It really just doesn't seem like a worthwhile bring to me, but he might bring it, maybe. We'll see, we'll see. Alright, let's get into my team then. First up's Jirachi, bringing a more defensive Jirachi this week with Thunder Wave. So this is my main switch in to a Mega Mawile is the kind of the idea there, and so I've got the Thunder Wave there I just spread paralysis around his team. Honestly, it's not bad. Obviously, I can't paralyze the Minior when it's in Shields Up form, but when Shields Down is there, then I can T-Wave it. And he won't be able to kill me without Earthquake, so I'm hesitant to think that he even brings Minior this week. I'm not entirely sure what he would want to do with it, honestly. I think Registeel has to come as a rocker, unless he wants to bring Rock Mawile, which I'm also okay with, because then he gives up a move slot. In my opinion, he gives up either Fire Fang or Sucker Punch in that move slot, because I think he wants Dual Stab. Or maybe he gives up Ice Punch. Like, realistically, he kind of needs, like, 5 moves on Mawile. Like, I really feel like he needs Iron Head. I feel like he needs Play Rough. I feel like he needs Ice Punch. I feel like he wants... Well, he doesn't need Ice Punch. He could definitely run Play Rough and no Ice Punch. And I feel like he needs Sucker Punch. And I feel like he needs... Fire Fang to break Jirachi. Otherwise, he's going to have a really hard time. Or potentially knock off instead, which is also a very valid option on the Mawile there. So again, first up's the Jirachi here, and yeah, so I've got the Wish, U-turning out on a lot of things, especially the Umbreon, don't want to stay in on that. Latias I can U-turn out on as well after I Thunder Wave it. You know, maybe he'll bring the T-Wave, or the Heal Bell, sorry, on the Umbreon, and maybe that's what Umbreon's job is this week, but I really don't care, because I've got the lefties and I've got Wish Recovery as well going on there. Fire Punch is there to hit the Registeel, that's about it. Lets me hit the Articuno. Excuse me, lets me hit the Articuno in 1v1, Fire Punch the Mawile as well is kind of the idea. 20% chance to burn, so there's something going on there. And I'd much rather burn the Mawile than flinch it, I think, this game, because he'll just Sucker Punch my Iron Heads anyways. I'm running out of speed for the Blaziken, and then I'm max HP, a little bit of defense. Golurk is next. This is my main Thunderous Incarnate answer, so I'm Yachi Berry for an HP Ice variant. I'm actually gonna pull some of my attack. I don't believe I need all the attack investment. I'm just gonna throw in 32 EVs into. Okay, so 32 would have been a waste anyways. I'm just gonna throw some speed on my Golurk just so I can outspeed that Mawile, that pesky Mawile, if he's running a little bit of speed for my Golurk. Yeah, so rocks are on the Golurk. Initially I had rocks on the Jirachi. I actually changed it up and put Wish on the Jirachi because I didn't have any recovery on the team, and then I threw rocks on the Golurk. Ice Punch, initially this was Shadow Punch, but Ice Punch is going to hit the Decidueye anyways, which was really the only thing I was clicking Shadow Punch against, except maybe the Latias, which is also hitting, so I don't need Ghost coverage against his team. I'd rather just click Ice Punch against the Thunderous, the Decidueye, the Latias. I would probably want to click Ice Punch against the Parasect. I've got Earthquake there to break through Registeel for the most part. It's for Registeel, it's also for the Toxapex. And the Blaziken, assuming I don't live a hit from the Blaziken, or sorry, assuming I live a hit from the Blaziken, I should say. Ice Punch is also there for the Minior, and Earthquake's there for the Mawile, and then I've got Drain Punch for anything else, really. Astelgor is a problem to an extent. If he wants the Final Gambit, then I've obviously got Golurk there. I can't really touch it back because it resists Drain Punch and Earthquake, but Ice Punch should two-shot it, I'd imagine, just based on Iron Fist damage, and Golurk's pretty strong on the physical side there. So that's Golurk set. Again, I've got the Yachi Berry for the Thundy with an HP Ice variant. Can potentially 1v1 Articuno. I probably wouldn't want to. You know, I've got better ways to deal with Articuno. Excuse me, i.e. Jirachi. Braviary is next. Scarf Braviary, max speed, speed tie the Blaziken, defog U-turn Brave Bird Superpower. Superpower is there for the Registeel. You know, his flying resists are fairly. You know, he's got a few flying resists. I should have meant he's got a few flying resists. The Mawile, although it doesn't really want to take a Brave Bird necessarily, doesn't really want to take a superpower either. Although I wouldn't really want to superpower Mawile because then he'd just kill me right afterwards. Minior doesn't really want to take a Brave Bird. It's not really a bulky mon. Neither does Thunderous. Although I'm not really staying in on Thunderous, I think the main goal is to just go hard Golurk, so you can't like T-Wave shenanigans me either. You know, maybe he won't be running the HP Ice, maybe he'll run Black Hole Eclipse. Actually, he can't be Z, so maybe he's running Dark Pulse though. I don't know how much sense that makes against my team, unless he wants to bring it specifically for the Jirachi, so I may be regretting running Yachi, and I may be better off running Colbur. I guess we'll find out. Although I do have Dark Resist in the Mega Lopunny to switch into that as well, and I'll probably stay in regular form. Excuse me. I may stay in regular form Lopunny just to get Limber and avoid the T-Wave shenanigans of the Thundy. Otherwise, I'm hoping to be behind a sub if I'm 1v1ing it. Yeah, Superpower is mainly there for the Registeel and the Umbreon. Just big nukes for them. That's pretty much it. Brave Bird spam blows a lot of the team back. Garchomp's next. Earthquake, SD, Dragonclaw, Dragon Tail. So I didn't really feel like I needed anything outside of Dual Stab here. Wasn't super necessary. I've got the Z move there, mainly just to nuke the Decidueye of all things. I think it'll be Decidueye that I nuke. You know, Dragonium Z just kind of nukes everything, realistically, bar Registeel and Mawile, and I just click Earthquake against both of those. So anything that I'm faster than will get blown back, or if I live a hit from something. Maybe not the Latias. I'd imagine the Latias can threaten me out. But I'm running enough speed for the Articuno, which luckily for me is Adamant, because his speed tiers are really weird. It's like Latias, and then it drops off a cliff to Articuno. So there's like a huge, what is that, 25 speed point gap. So anything that slots in there is very easily throwing, you know, boosting nature, essentially. So Jirachi, Garchomp both fit into that, and they can run boosting natures. Adamant Chomp is really scary to play against, and I don't think he's going to have a ton of great options for this. Dragon Tail is just in case the Thunderous doesn't have HP Ice and it gets out of hand. The Latias maybe gets out of hand. Minior gets out of hand. Again, I didn't really need another move. Could have gone Fire Fang. Didn't, want Dragon Tail instead. Rock Slide I was also considering for the Articuno. I think the Dragon Claw will be more than enough. Lopunny, Limber, Lopunny, Drain Punch, Sub, Return, Power Up Punch. So in theory I can sub on Mons and Power Up Punch my way through them. Mons like Decidueye may struggle against me, especially if he's not running Grass Stab. You know, he might be running Grass Stab. I think Thunder comes just so he can break Blastoise, but besides that, I don't really know if he'd need to run Grass Stab on the Decidueye. Like, Ghost Stab deals with Golurk already, so there's no point in bringing Grass Stab for that. And, like, the only reason you'd want to bring Grass Stab is so that you can actually touch Lopunny, because otherwise I just don't see him having a way to touch Lopunny or Braviary. So a little bit worried about the Decidueye, but not really. And Scrappy's just going to let me hit all that stuff anyways, but the whole idea is that I can like sub on something like Decidueye, or I can sub on Registeel, for example. He'll be breaking my subs. I don't think there's a way around that. Let me just... Yeah, there's no way around that. There's no way around that, unfortunately, because I'm never going to hit 201 HP on my Lopunny, but who knows? Maybe you won't bring Seismic Toss. Maybe you'll bring like Iron Head or something. I don't know. It seemed like a good Lopunny set. Excuse me. It's there to break through Toxapex as well, which is helpful. Raikou here. Final one on the team. HP Fire's there for the Parasect. It'll also hit the Decidueye. I don't really need HP Ice for anything besides those. And then for whatever HP Ice will hit, I've got Signal Beam, i.e. the Mega Latias, and that's really about it. He doesn't have a ground type on his team, so Specs Raikou is extremely free to just like click Thunderbolt at multiple points this game. It's going to be really hard for him to deal with this Pokemon, honestly. I'm probably just going to lead it. If I don't see a Selgor, I'm 100% leading it. If I see the Selgor, I'm going to have to make a better decision, like maybe lead Golurk. But Raikou can obliterate his Mons with Thunderbolt. This Mon just is... It's going to claim lives. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. If you don't have a ground type, like Specs Raikou is just going to Volt Switch all over you. So, enough speed on here for Thundurus, including the HP Fire IVs, which is 30. And then just some offensive investment there. So in terms of what I'm not bringing, Clefable just kind of gets beat down by Mawile to an extent. You know, he's got double steal, so Clefable's not that great. It could have functioned as maybe an unaware pivot into the Minior, which would have been all right. It doesn't deal, you know, it can deal with the Umbreon, but Pex kind of just sits on it unless I'm running a Calm Mindset, but then maybe he's Haze. So there's lots of ifs about Clefable this week. I'm not sold on it. Roserade, his bigger threats outspeed it. Probably going to be Scarf Blaziken. Spike Stack wasn't that necessary. It doesn't have a good offensive matchup, so there was no real reason to bring Roserade. He has one Mon weak to Poison on the entire team, and that is the Asugor, and like 0 Mons weak to Grass, I think, in total. So, yeah, tons of Grass resists, but no real offensive reason for Roserade to come. Blastoise, beat down by his team. Maybe it's a good Blaziken answer. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. Wasn't really worth finding out this week. Can't really break through Pex, which I think is going to come in on it, which is kind of why I liked the double ground. You know, Pex has a horrific matchup against Golurk, Chomp, Raikou, so we'll see. Drapion, not all that necessary. Could have been a nice Latias answer. In hindsight, maybe I bring Drapion over Garchomp, but I think Garchomp has a nice matchup here. And then Heatmore would have been an alright Mega Mawile check, and maybe an alright Blaziken check if you didn't have EQ, but I'm not bringing Heatmore. Could have broken through, like a workup Heatmore or something, could have broken through Z, Thunder Punch or something, maybe to break through Toxapex, breaks through Registeel. You know, can definitely break through his Fat. Heatmore can kind of, like, break through his Fat really easily, but the faster Mons just outspeed it and kill it. It's kind of the whole idea. So that's it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys for a week 6 match against Will and the Witney Miltanks.